Things I prep my family for the week. I'm back with some regular sourdough bread today. It has literally been months since I made a regular sourdough loaf, but this weekend I made some for a spinach dip and I decided that's what we're going to have this week. Yes, I did throw a loaf. So 2 loaves of sourdough bread. I made a veggie tray, cucumbers from my garden, tomatoes from my garden, everything else from the grocery store. A fruit tray, everything from the grocery store. I wish it was my garden, but we're not there yet, okay? A whole watermelon. I love watermelon season. It's my favorite fruit. So I chopped this one up. We had this for snack today, and then I had a whole container to save for the week. With all those veggies, we needed some ranch. So I made my homemade ranch. Always delicious, always goes pretty quickly. My kids will tear up some veggies and ranch and anything to get them to eat veggies, am I right? Also probably make some homemade chicken strips this week, so we'll have ranch and chicken strips. My granola bar, this recipe is so delicious. I will be sharing this week. It's giving Rice Krispie treat, but granola bar. Not giving healthy, but giving delicious. I hope you got a great weekend with your family. I know I did. The weather was beautiful here in Texas. Also hope that your guys' time with your kids going great this summer. I hope you find time to run in the sprinkler with them, make a treat with them, just hang out with them. Up next, I did make some more salsa. I did make this last week. I made some more because my husband absolutely loved it. And here we have an abundance of tomatoes and peppers. Some of which came from my freezer, but those are all from my garden. This time I did a cilantro one. It was delicious. Cannot wait to have that tomorrow on tacos. It was something new, so I did a copycat recipe for a Starbucks wrap. It's like a chicken jalapeno wrap. I decided to make my spin on it. Use these lavash, I think that's what they're called, wraps. So good. I should learn to make those, but it was easier for me to buy them this week. This right here was your reminder to save all the scraps in your freezer to make a broth later on. These were done. I actually had one of these for lunch today. So delicious. Honestly, a fried egg on that in the morning, it would be really good, but I really enjoyed that. Almost like the Starbucks one. Egg bite of the week. All I did was use some lunch meat, some garden tomatoes, and then some Gruyere cheese. All farm fresh eggs from my ladies. Side note, if you thought about having chickens and you're not an HOA, you should get it. Even a small coop, it's so fun and rewarding, and I just love my little ladies out there. But yes, egg bites are back. My kids are going to be happy. They absolutely love these. Muffin of the week. Welcome back, Muffin of the week. I haven't done this in a while, but I made some lemon poppy seed with a cream cheese filling. A tried and true recipe over here. Delicious every single time. The family tears this up. And that's all I did today, you guys. Not as much today, but we got it done. Also, one of those loaves of sourdough is for the neighbor. And that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.
I'm going on a 3-week trip without my husband, and I cannot even remember the last time he stepped foot in the kitchen. So to make his life a little bit easier while I'm gone, I prepped 3 weeks worth of meals for the freezer. For breakfast, I made sandwiches that can be reheated in the microwave. His actual favorite breakfast is turkey bacon with scrambled eggs. Unfortunately, that doesn't reheat very well, so I couldn't make it ahead, but to still make things easier for him, I portioned up the turkey bacon on sheets of parchment like this, so he can just grab a portion, throw it in the toaster, and let it cook while he makes his eggs. For lunches and dinners, I made a ton of his freezer favorites, like this chicken pot pie, which I cheat by topping with a puff pastry instead of pie dough. And for anything like this cottage pie that needs to be baked when reheated, I froze it in individual foil containers so he can just throw it directly into the oven when he gets home, and it'll be ready by the time he's ready for dinner. But for things that can be reheated in the microwave, I froze using freezer molds. For these barbacoa bowls, I used the 2-cup mold so I could freeze both the cilantro lime rice and the barbacoa meat together, and this makes packing lunches super easy because he could just grab a block of this and put it in a Tupperware to microwave at work. And I will say I have both the Super Cube brand molds as well as the dupe from Costco Canada, and while the Super Cubes are marginally better, the Costco ones being literally a quarter of the price makes them way more worth it for me. With the leftover mashed potatoes from the cottage pie, I froze it into 1-cup blocks and then also made some meatballs that he could have with the mashed potatoes. And then because it's still flu season, I made some bone broth and used that to make chicken noodle soup, so if he got sick, he could eat this. And this is only half of everything I prepped for him, so come back for part 2 to see the rest of it.
Things I prep my family for the week. Another week where tomorrow me will thank me. One loaf of bread this week, I just did a cinnamon raisin bread, but that's because tomorrow I plan to make some homemade sourdough bread. Why didn't you do that today, Cindy? Well, because I forgot, so we're going to do it tomorrow. Anyways, hope you're well. I hope that your spring is going off to a good start. Summer is almost here. I feel it. I love it. I'm ready for the heat. Now, watch in August, I'm going to regret saying that, but I am a summer girl. Think of summer, you need some protein balls. Those were protein balls. You need those when you need some energy or your kids need energy. Hand them a protein ball. I made some sourdough starter chocolate chip muffins. These turned out so delicious. I have not made these for a while. Glad I did. Y'all see that pop out? That's why those silicone pans are the best. I topped it with some chocolate because why not? And then I made our fruit trays. A couple fruit in here. Cantaloupes are in season. I'm excited for that. Then a veggie tray. Look at those cucumbers. Those are from my garden. Don't look at anything else from the supermarket but the cucumbers from my garden. egg bite of the week. Today's egg bite is just veggies, zucchini from the garden, peppers from the garden, and onion from the store. These came out so perfect. Cannot wait to put a dollop of hot sauce on there. It's going to be so good. Still on a beets kick. I made beets last week. I'm going to make beets again. These are just roasted. I like to just put them with every meal that I eat. Our sweet of the week, sweet of the week. It's going to be some chocolate chip cookies, and I have some for the freezer. Protein jello, Bear Toast, strawberry banana jello. And you just put some Greek yogurt in there. You call it protein jello. It is delicious. My kids eat that up. Honestly, so does me and my husband. We'll grab these at night when we need a little snack, and it's so delicious. Ooh, more garden stuff. Look at those jalapenos, tomatoes, tomatillos, all from my garden. I made a quick salsa. I didn't show, but I did put a bunch of cilantro in here, and that's why it's green. And it's so good. My husband was already eating on it. Then for tonight's dinner, I did a marinade. I just threw a bunch of stuff in a bag, okay? Mix it together, put the chicken in there, and then this sat in the fridge all day until it made this chicken right here. And that's all I did today. Now you might be wondering, why is your dress different from the first clip to the last? This is why. But that's all I did today. Bye, guys.
This is how I process 10 pounds of potatoes for my family of 2 to make sure that we actually eat it and it doesn't go to waste. Step 1, inspection. We are checking to see if any have rotted. It passes. Step 2, wash your potatoes. Remember, buying in bulk means you need to enjoy it in bulk. So choose a preparation method you're not gonna get sick of. For us, that means French fries, traditional and waffle. It's called a chop box. Voila. Now, if you want to prep waffle fries, you need this special Mouska tool. It's called a wave cutter. You take the potato, make your first slice. Do you see the ridges? Okay, good. Make sure the ridges do not line up for your next cut. In order to get the waffle shape on every single fry, you are going to rotate the potato with every slice. And this is what they look like. When you get down to the butts, you use a fork. Transfer to a big ass bowl and fill it with water. These are gonna soak for a minimum of 30 minutes. Don't be mad, okay? I finished without you. But you didn't miss a lot, I promise. Once I had dried them off completely, I put them in my big ass bowl and tossed them in some canola oil. And no, tossing is not the same as deep frying. And then they took a nap in my 450-degree oven for 35 minutes. Now I know what you're thinking. Allison, no one likes a floppy fry. You're not wrong there. But remember, this is meal prep. We par bake it in the oven ahead of time and finish them off in the air fryer when it's time to eat. Now comment on this video and share it with a friend so that the algorithm brings you back.
This is everything I meal prep for my family of 6 to make our life easier this week. I didn't have a lot of time this week, so I only meal prep our protein. Starting off with the easiest chicken thigh recipe. After washing your chicken, put it in a pan, put some olive oil spray on it. You're going to season it with paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and then for salt, I'm going to use the adobo seasoning and then some Maggi cube, and then I'm going to finish off with some parsley. I also add a little bit of barbecue sauce, marinate it for about 40 minutes. While that's marinating, I start on the salmon. I take the skin off the salmon because my kids won't eat it if the skin is on it, and then I cut it into small cubes. I also put some olive oil spray on it, and then I season it with garlic powder, onion powder, biryani hot, cayenne pepper, and then some parsley. I bake them together at 430 degrees, the chicken for 35 minutes and the salmon for about 25 minutes. While that's cooking, I get started on blending the vegetables that I'm going to be putting on the turkey while also making my salad. For the salad, it's red onions, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, chickpeas, add a little vinegar, season with the McCormick Pitch Perfect salad seasoning, mix it all up, and then add your feta cheese and mozzarella cheese, and that is it. This is the most delicious salad. My kids love it. I love it. It is a must every week. For the ground turkey, which we're going to be eating with pasta this week, I'm going to do the same thing. Put olive oil, and then I'm going to season it with garlic powder, onion powder, some paprika, and then I'm also going to use the adobo seasoning for some salt and add the vegetables that I blended earlier. This is perfect for those picky eaters. I'm going to finish it off with some tomato sauce, and that is going to be our pasta sauce for the week. So now during the week, we can have some chicken wraps with the chicken quesadillas, eat it with the side of rice, and same thing with the salmon, and that only took about an hour and a half to make.
Fail to prepare, prepare to struggle. As a working mom managing autoimmune inflammation while cooking mostly from scratch, this freezer system is exactly how I keep meals nourishing without burning out. I no longer buy meat just to store it in the fridge or freezer. Everything is turned into meals intentionally. So when I come home from a long working day, the meat has already been thawed overnight and it can become whatever meal we fancy within 30 minutes on that evening. One of the staples is a juicy Turkish Adana kebab. I perfected this recipe so it stays incredibly moist. I freeze it flat, thaw it overnight, then spread it straight onto a tray. No shaping needed. kneaded, then I bake it in the oven. We serve it with bulgur or homemade Turkish flatbread. In summer, it goes straight onto skewers and on the grill outside. And here's a key tip: whenever you're adding grated vegetables to kofta or kebab recipes, the moisture must be completely squeezed out of the vegetable. If not, you'll end up with a wet mixture and need breadcrumbs to fix it, which I personally avoid. The next variation is something between the Iranian cutlet and a kofta. It's my signature version and my whole family loves it because one recipe easily becomes 5 completely different meals. And I know sometimes it might look like I'm cooking for 100 people, but what you're seeing isn't one meal, it's months of meals, it's a system. This isn't excess, it's in fact intention. It reduces daily workload, it removes decision fatigue, and with another growing season coming up, it allows me to use my time wisely instead of standing in the kitchen every evening exhausted. Tiny meatballs are another quiet part of this system, simple to put together but incredibly useful. They are great when adding protein to rice dishes, they go straight into soup, and perfect for lighter dinners that are still nourishing. Smash burger tacos are one of my viral recipes, so they need no introduction. But since building this freezer system, something bigger has changed. There are no more "shall we just order a takeaway" conversations. We've reduced processed meat significantly, and that matters. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a group 1 carcinogen. So cooking from scratch as much as possible is simply preventative. And I did see a comment reminding me about countries struggling with food during the month of Ramadan. Ramadan has never been about indulgence. It's about restraint, gratitude, charity, and worship. So preparing ahead for the entire month just supports that. Egyptian hawashi or stuffed pitas are the perfect post-school dinner. The kids love them, and I usually serve them as a big platter for everyone to dig into. Then there are smash burgers, 5 minutes to press and freeze, and they go straight into a hot pan from frozen. I also keep plain 500 grams portions of cooked mince ready for spontaneous pasta nights or quick craving. I've written the entire system up, 6 core recipes that turn into at least 10 different meals with portion sizes and a full shopping list. The link is in my bio or comment guide and I'll send it to you.
Here are all the high protein meals I made in 1 hour for me and my husband. I don't go to McDonald's super often, but when I do, there's a 95% chance it's for the Egg McMuffin. There is just something about it that is so delicious and addicting. But I'm just a girl who's trying her best not to be seduced by the $2 breakfast sandwich meal deal every single morning. So I made a copycat version at home. These are so easy, it's actually ridiculous. It's 4 ingredients. Pretty much the only thing you're cooking are the eggs. And you can make as many as you want. You can keep these in the fridge, you can keep them in the freezer. They're perfect for grab and go, and each sandwich has nearly 20 grams of protein. For lunch, I was craving a super cold pasta salad type dish, so I made a high protein chicken bacon ranch pasta salad. I used some chickpea pasta for extra protein, and then the sauce is a base of light mayo and plain Greek yogurt, and obviously some ranch seasoning and a couple other add-ins to make it super delicious. This one I feel like looks way more complicated than it is. It's so easy. You guys have seen this one before, and I will never stop making them. These burrito bowls will always be one of my top recommendations for anybody who's never meal prepped before and wants to start. They are so quick and simple, but they are absolutely delicious. I like to wait to add fresh toppings right before eating: the lettuce, the sauce, all the things. I usually prep all my fruit at the start, but today I didn't for some reason. I just washed and dried those. This week I did some blueberries and strawberries. Once you discover how to store berries well, there is no going back. They last forever. It's crazy. Lastly, I grabbed some milk from my cows out back to make some yogurt from scratch for these homemade fudge brownie yogurt bars.
Things I prep my family for the week. Did y'all hear the good news? Let me come back to that because right now I'm making burger buns. I'm prepping these today because I'm having them tomorrow, and tomorrow me will thank me because these take a few hours to make. So I made them today. Some with sesame seeds, some without. Roasted some sweet potatoes because I plan to do sweet potato, ground beef, avocado bowls for lunch or dinner this week one day. And it's just easier for me to do them all today while the oven's on instead of reheating my house at some point this week. Egg bite of the week. I used zucchini from my garden and some sausage. So sausage, zucchini, egg bites. That's what's going down today. Again, these come out perfect every single time if you use those silicone pans. I used to use the metal pans, but they just didn't come out as good. Up next, I made some pizza pinwheels. These are one of those like easy, my kids can grab them if they're hungry, an easy lunch option. And let me tell you, they're delicious. I had one today for lunch. This is really good. You make like an herb dough and then you put all the pizza toppings in there, cut it up just like you would cinnamon rolls. I coated the bottom with some butter and cheese so it's all melty and the cheese at the bottom's a little crispy. And it's just like a cinnamon roll, but it's a pizza. Here it is going in the oven, all puffed up, and then that is it. It was delicious. Let me tell you, 10 out of 10. I'm gonna make a jalapeno cheddar one next. Made a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs. My son has the Baseball World Series this week, so I plan to make a different sandwich every day we're there. Egg salad's one of them. 2 loaves of bread this week, classic sourdough sandwich bread, and then I did this week make a jalapeno cheddar. Those jalapenos from my garden, you already know. So lots of breads this week, but we are going to have a busy sports week. Baseball World Series, it's 7 days. It's going to be a good time. Speaking of, it's getting hot, so I did make these electrolyte cubes. You just add them to your kids' water and it just helps them get some nutrients. Coconut water, your favorite fruit, some lime juice, a little bit of salt, and some honey. And you freeze them. Put them in their water as their ice, and it gives them added hydration. Fruit tray of the week, we had some raspberries, watermelon, and grapes. Then I made something new to me, you guys. I made refrigerator pickles. Bunch of cucumbers from the garden. So I made some pickles. I put the cucumber, some big cloves of garlic, the spices. I even did some pepperoncinis in a couple of them. And I'm going to leave these in the fridge for a week. And I hope that they're delicious. Like, I really highly hope, because I have more cucumbers that I need to pickle. Now, while I was out at the garden picking fresh dill for these right here, I seen I had a lot of basil, so I decided to make a pesto. A little pine nuts, a little pesto, a little cheese, a little oil, you know, and it's just delicious. Can't wait to have that on a sandwich this week. Last thing I made is granola bars. Back to the good news. If you guys did not see, I am launching a blog. So all of these recipes you see, you've been asking for, will be in one place. For free. Yes, you heard it right. For free. Head there now so you don't miss out. But that's all I did today. Bye, guys.